Let me tell you some bits and pieces about these drill bits. First, we're going to go over just the basic parts of the drill bit. So, one is the shank. This is where we clamp or place in the spindle. So you can see it here, or it's this portion. So then we're going to talk about the flutes. Flutes are the channels that go up the drill bit, and they're there to remove the sawdust or the chips from the part, from the hole that we're drilling. And then we have the cutting edge. So the cutting edge is the very tip. You can see the angled part. So here's a cutting edge on this one. And we have these 2 points on here, which is a cutting edge on that. That one is the V on the top. And then we have multiple cutting edges on this bit. All right, so we'll go over the different types of drill bits. So the first one is probably the most common that everybody's familiar with, is a jobber drill bit. These are good for drilling holes that don't go through, or sometimes they go through. They work for both. Next, we have a brad point. You can see the 2 points on the outer edge and then the one in the center. These are meant not to drill through. They're for depth holes. So if you have a hole that's not going to go through your part, they're good for that. And we have a through bore. And these are good for drilling through a part. They have very little chipping on the top or the bottom. And then these are hinge bits or Forstner bits. And these are also good for depth holes, not so much for through holes. So you may be wondering why there's an orange bit and a black bit. So the difference is typically when they're painted orange, they are a left-handed bit. So that means that it would rotate counterclockwise to cut the material versus clockwise to cut the material. So with our brad point and our through bore and our hinge or Forstner bit, they all have screws in the back. And what these are meant for, you can see here, they're meant to, when we put them in the spindle, if the spindle does not have any adjustment, we're using multiple drill bits. And this one's deeper than this one. We can back this screw out and then even them up.